What is the most heartbreaking way for a country to miss out on the World Cup? Saudi Arabia's story in 2010 is up there. After qualifying for 4 consecutive World Cups since 1994, nobody expected them to miss out in 2010. In a group that contained South Korea, North Korea, the UAE and Iran, all Saudi Arabia had to do was finish in the top 2 to qualify for South Africa. To kickstart their campaign, they drew to Iran, beat the UAE and lost to South Korea. Not the best of starts, but still not too bad. Until they lost to North Korea in Pyongyang. Alarm bells started ringing. Thankfully, they would get 7 points in their next 3 games, beating the UAE, Iran and drawing with South Korea before they went and faced North Korea again in the final game of their group. Both teams were tied in second place on 11 points, but North Korea were better on goal difference. To qualify, Saudi needed to win on home turf in front of 65,000 fans in Riyadh. There was no way they would bottle this, right? Saudi Arabia did everything in their power to reach the goal of North Korea, but the ball just wouldn't go in. North Korea, on the other hand, barely made it into their half. And so after 90 minutes, it's 0-0 and Saudi have a final chance in injury time, a free kick just outside the box. And the King Fahd Stadium goes into a frenzy as the free kick is perfectly played into the box for Saudi to score the winner. Or not. The referee called for a repeat. The game would end 0-0. And North Korea qualified directly to the World Cup. But it was not all over for Saudi, as finishing in 3rd place meant they would go to a 5th round playoff against neighbors Bahrain. It was a 2-legged playoff where the winner would face New Zealand in the Intercontinental Playoff. In the first leg, it was 0-0 in Bahrain, but in the second leg, things got spicy. Nasser Shamrani opens the scoring for Saudi in the 13th minute, but Bahrain then equalized in the 42nd minute. And since there was away goals rule back then, Bahrain would be qualifying like this. So Saudi threw the kitchen sink once again, doing everything in their power to score. And this time, they did. 91st minute and Al Ittihad legend Hamad Al Muntashari scores for Saudi Arabia. They're going to the playoffs. Saudi were still alive. But Bahrain, despite being 3,000 times smaller than Saudi Arabia in size, matched them man for man. Ismail Abdul Latif would send a shockwave throughout all of the kingdom of Saudi Arabia when just 2.5 minutes later, he scores the equalizer. The match finishes, the stadium goes silent once again, and Saudi Arabia failed to qualify for their 5th consecutive FIFA World Cup.